Welcome back, everyone. I didn't even realise that we were going into the race. I was too busy changing things on my end on the laptop. But we are about to get going for the race here around Bahrain Grand Prix circuit, of course, at the Sakia International Circuit. Of course, my name is James Head. Pepsi Freak joining me alongside in the commentary box. And Pepsi, we got caught a little bit flat-footed there because we were too busy setting up everything in behind. We're getting into the race. Excited?
I guess I'm excited as well. I kind of was a little bit deflated there for qualifying the race. You were kind of running with a chicken with your head cut off, and I was just kind of sitting here just trying to like play peacekeeper, like it's gonna be all right, it's gonna be okay. And yeah, we're here to go again, and we're gonna wait the next 20 seconds left here. We got a race here, and we're gonna have fun. Oh, there it goes right now. So 30 seconds left, and then we'll have a formation lap, and I think we're ready to start this F1 season off right, and hopefully, let me just quickly knock on the wood that we have no other issues here today.
Hopefully not. Hopefully not. It, obviously, beyond our control in terms of what's going on in the weather in terms of the UK, but we are back live, as you can see. Qualifying has already been done, and now we are on to the race. Plenty of support once again coming through the com. Make sure we reshare this stream out, because obviously the old race day link that I had, of course, in the comments on Twitter, that is now completely outdated. I just need to switch off my laptop because I was just uploading the thumbnail and everything. But we are about to get going, as I say, for the Bahrain Grand Prix, and of course, Jensen on pole position, back in the position, of course, where he actually dominated this race from a couple of seasons ago, and Jensen hopefully going to be wrapping up, well, not wrapping up the title, but certainly putting his foot down and making sure everyone is on notice for going into tonight and also going into the rest of the season.
I was going to say, if he's wrapping the title now, this would have been a very quick season here. I don't know what I would do for the next 13 weeks. But, yeah, I think he's trying to make a statement here and show that I'm not going to be bullied around. Some will have Yona and F2. Spoiler alert there. Sorry for the people that didn't catch it, but you've had some time. But make sure you tune next week. But anyway, it's a situation where he wants to put his foot down and show that he is not going to be monkeyed around. He is still the cream of the crop, and this is my throne. Come at me. And if you're going to mess with the king, you better not miss, as they would say.
Yeah, definitely. So, Smalley, by the way, saying in the Discord as well, remember the setups. I said that with 1 second to go going into the actual formation lap, which is terrible from my perspective. But we are better going into the formation lap. Of course, 15 drivers awaiting the guys out on track, and 15 corners, of course, as well. And now we can see what strategy everyone is on. Of course, top 10 qualified on that set of soft compound tyres. And because we had that lobby restart, everyone else, it was an unknown what tyres they're going to be starting on. Chris Boss wanted Chalkers, Khan and Smalley all on a set of medium compound tyres. Simple one-stop.
Yeah, simple one-stop is probably in the cards as well. No shocks outside the top 11. They're all going on mediums here. The one positive, though, is that top 10 are going to have fresh softs instead of slightly worn softs. Now, true, it's available of a lap, maybe a lap and a half, but it's still going to make it go a little bit longer in strategy than you normally would. So they can go an extra maybe 1, 2, 3 laps if they can. So it does open the door a bit more for that top 10. It gives a slight bit more of an advantage than probably the back half of the field wants to see.
Yeah, definitely so, and obviously with those tyres, with those drivers, of course, done and that set of soft compound tyre, they're gonna go possibly longer into the race. And we were talking about, I normally think around here it's around lap 7, lap 8, lap 9 when drivers are going to be pitting in, maybe a little bit earlier than that. But drivers should be going to around lap 10, I think, and then deciding to pit in on a set of medium compound tyres from a set of softs and go 19 laps towards the end of the race. Hopefully this is going to be a fantastic race. Smalley, I think, had a moment coming outside of turn 10, so that's why he's a little bit further down the field than actually necessary. But Jensen out on top. What does Basti, though, have to do? He basically has to get the better start on Jensen. He has to watch out, though, because Rudy's in behind, and we know with Rudy, runner-up last season, he is going to be right on the limit going down in towards turn 1.
He can be quite a Rudy if you're not careful going into corner 1 there. So it's a situation where you could definitely be able to watch out for. Also, Met TC as well could be someone to keep an eye on going in corner 1. Maybe he's got a good start in him. So, yeah, if Jensen and Basti maybe bog down, or Basti as well, he may be under pressure from the rest of the field behind. So kind of a little bit nerve-wracking that you make sure you don't spin those tires and time the lights right.
I'd just like to credit Pepsi for that absolutely terrible pun. That's the first one of the season, and probably more to come from him as we go through tonight.
I'm not that much of a fun. I know the puns are your gimmick, so I won't take too many, but I had to take that shot. I saw an opportunity.
I was just shaking my head at that, to be honest. Anyways, the drivers are now lining up on the grid. Smalley is just joining at the back, and now we're about to get racing. First time here in TTML F1, Season 7, Round 1 of the Championship are about to begin, and it is... Lights down, away we go, and Jensen gets a better start than Bassi, but one of the starts like further down the field. Rudy a little bit slower off the line, but Jensen on the run down towards someone is going to come under pressure from Basti. Basti to the inside on the Austrian, sticks his car in there, but Jensen leads the way through turn 1. Basti there in second, Rudy in third, MedCC in fourth. Hyper was going side by side, it was actually Carlsbury going side by side with Lynx, and now Black Box are trying to get on the act as well. Nearly 3 wide, 4 wide possibly, down in towards turn number 4. Somebody's going to have to try and bail out. Both McLaren's got barreling down the inside of Carlsbury, and Carlsbury has to be forced on the outside line. They're going side by side through 6 and 7. There's bound to be contact here, but Lynx has just mastered Black Box around the outside. Lovely stuff there. Actually has to re-give the position. Rudy is fighting with Basti as well. I think he tried a little bit of a move, and actually Basti is all out of shape coming out of turn 8, and now Rudy down the inside line gets the job done. He's through into P2 coming through turn 9. Jensen leads the way though. Rudy in second, Basti in third. Everyone full knee over each other halfway down the field. A little bit of a connection glitch there, possibly for a Funky Chicken down in 10, but a really good start by everyone. Jensen out on top, Rudy in second, Basti in third, and everyone further down the field. There's more moves happening. Lynx and Black Box fighting side by side through turn 12.
Yeah, you love to see it when they keep it clean there, and it was all clean on the first lap there. No mistakes, no argy-bargy. A little bit of close moments, but everyone keeps it clean for the most part. Jensen leads the way. Rudy is able to pass Basti. But something that makes me wonder is that we saw it in the talking on the formation lap there. Did anyone forget to put their setup on and possibly forget to load it? And maybe it could be a sit and duck here, because in this league, if you don't have a setup on, you may be a little bit in trouble at the very least. So I have to wait and see if anyone really falls off in their pace. We got Boss Juan and Chris fighting here for 11th position here, and it looks like Boss Juan's going to have the inside. They're going to be no DRS yet, so it's going to be pure straight line to straight line, and it looks like Boss's Wanted is going to make the pass successfully on Chris to put Boss's Wanted up to 11, Chris on down to 12. But other than that, everyone's getting kind of mostly spaced out for the most part here and just getting settled in, and right now as it shakes up, 1 through 10 would all be in a DRS train at the very least.
Black Box on the back of Carlsbury, nearly locked up into the back of him there, coming through turn 4, but the Aston Martin on the back of the Haas is trying to get this move done. I think Carlsbury's looking considerably slower at this early stage compared to Black Box. Black Box, of course, was learning the wheel last season. He's learned the wheel this season so far, and he's in P8 at the minute. We're having a look at the position changes as well. That's just popping up on the left-hand side. Smalley has gained the most, 2 positions gained, 1 position gained for Rudy, Black Box and Boss Swanson, and everyone else pretty much lost the position or remained as they are. So very good start by everyone. Black Box again on the back of Carlsbury, to be still right on board with him, running down in towards turn 11, doesn't get the move done, and we'll wait probably until turn number 1 on the next lap. Of course, DRS will be enabled on towards lap 11, on towards turn 11, I should say, down the left, down the old F2 pit straight. But Jensen out on top, currently mastering Rudy at this stage. Rudy looks like he's on it, 0.5 of a second in behind. Basti not too far off either. Predicted pit stop strategy says lap 13 to 15 and lap 8 to 10 from a set of mediums, set of softs, I should say, to a set of mediums. But Rudy quicker, wow. Basti as well looking quicker. And than Rudy and Jensen, and both of all 3 of these, I think, are going to Constantine up down in towards turn 1 as MetTC just latches onto the back as well.
They all kind of flashed up. There was Jensen's fast lap for half a second, then it was Rudy's, then it was Basti, so it all went down the order there. And I think, honestly, right now, it looks like top 4 are going to be kind of in a breakaway, because I don't want to be mean to Hyper yet, but Hyper is almost a second down here, and he's going to have a put up a shut-up lap here in order to stay in touch distance, because if he falls out of DRS range, it may be a situation where he's just kind of left in no man's land here, but it looks like he's just trying to hang on at the very least here, and we'll see if he can hang on, which he essentially probably will for the DRS point, as he looks like he gets a good tow here, so he'll keep that train going. And yeah, just going to be a lot of drivers fighting here, and I think we're going to see a lot of scrappiness here if Rudy can just get a little bit closer to the front. But other than that, though, everyone is just kind of biding their time at the very least for now.
Jensen through the middle sector actually gaining time on Rudy, 0.4 of a second. Obviously Rudy now within the DRS. I don't think, because obviously these two were teammates last season, Jensen and Rudy, they're not this season. I think there's going to be a little bit of team orders possibly here, like inter-team orders I would say. Rudy behind Jensen, he's going to have to be pressurised though by Basti. Basti there in third is really on the limit, I've got to say. He's looking so much quicker than Rudy. I think he's going to probably try the move down in towards turn number 1 if he's close enough. Jensen currently out on top. Rudy there in second, Basti in third, as we now come through the final right-hander of turn 15, and on to the line. You can already see Basti is going to line this up down in towards turn number 1, has got so much straight line speed. Look at this, Basti closing in on the back of Rudy. Chokers has spun through the final corner, so there's a yellow flag in the final corner, and that's for Chokers, who was spun coming out of turn 15. Jensen though leads the way, Rudy in second and Basti in third, and Basti again looking so quick, and now with the run out of turn 4, up the hill and towards turn 4, he's going to get the move done. Down the inside line goes the Austrian on the Dutchman, but the Dutchman I think is going to have the right of way corner, and he does. Rudy stays ahead, Basti there in third, but Basti is trying as he might to try and get through. So far, Rudy handling the pressure very well.
I think Rudy kind of, because we saw it on the straight, I was looking at telemetry, Rudy was using ERS, while Basti was not, as Basti almost gives the chrome horn to Rudy there. Luckily no wing break for either driver, but the point still stands. I think Basti was kind of biding his time there, waiting for that next DRS point to make something happen, but Rudy's going to have DRS off Jensen, so it's not going to be the easiest move in the world, because Rudy's going to get being fed by Jensen, and Basti's going to be fed by Rudy, so you're just going to have to wait for a mistake or hope a mistake happens. And right now, there's no real crime in riding, because if Rudy gets, because Rudy and Jensen were teammates last season, and they're not teammates now, but there may be still that mutual respect where it's like, why should I pressure my former teammate here and make a mistake that may tip both out, rather just ride and just hope things work out? Because if Basti doesn't put enough pressure on him, it may be just a riding situation.
Well, the moves might happen just before they go into the pit stops, which will be around lap 8, lap 9, but already Rudy has got the DRS enabled, and look at the speed compared to him. Is he going to think about going for the move?
Oh,
down in towards turn 1, he is. He's going to go a little bit early here, so Rudy to to turn number 1 will lead the way. So Rudy through, and he's into the lead. Jensen there in second, Basti there in third, and now Smalley further down the field. There's going to be a 3 wide situation nearly with Chris. Dives it down the inside line to the Scotsman. Can he get the job done? No. Jensen, though, fighting back for the race lead as Rudy now gets overtaken, but at the switch back through turn number 4, Rudy is going to be on the outside line. Jensen though was back through into the lead of the race. He goes further down the field though. Chris did get the move done, retook Smalley down in towards turn number 4, so Chris is through and he's into 12. Smalley 13th, and actually Chris goes off track, and that is a free position for Smalley. Smalley through and he's into P12, with Chris just getting caught on the curb. He's down into 13th position for now, but Jensen back through to the lead.
I think, yeah, Jensen's in the lead right now. We'll see if anything happens. Like Rudy made a move slightly too early because he made the pass, and then Jensen canceled right back. So maybe a little bit too early to make a lunge happen. You got to be a little bit more confident on the front here. But again, I sit here and wonder, are any drivers just biding their time right now? Like, I don't think, obviously, we see for Rudy Jensen not biding their time, but maybe he's Med just sitting there waiting it out here, because it looks like he gets kind of close enough. You think he could maybe make a lunge on Basti, but he's just kind of sitting there. Maybe saving his resources, because he's at 70% ERS, Basti's at 55, and Rudy and Jensen are at 40 and 60 respectively, so looks like, and the rest behind them are kind of varying 30s and 60s, so maybe just save the resources up, save the rubber, and maybe make the overcut a possibility so you can have fresh mediums at the end of this race.
Yeah, possibly so. I think Basti's certainly just looking off the back of Rudy. Rudy again is going to try and have the move down in towards someone not close enough. Didn't want to risk it for a chocolate biscuit or a bourbon biscuit or a custard cream, whatever you like. Jensen out on top, Rudy in second, Basti in third, ATC in fourth. Smalley, however, has got through and Boss Wanted down in towards turn 1. Smalley through the Scotsman. He's driving well in that set of medium compound tyres. He's certainly into 11th. Boss Wanted there in 12th. Chris there in 13th, doing a good job at the minute. But Jensen now just holding sway out in front. Another 4/10 gap from Rudy. Basti there in third. Black Box again with Carlsbury. Carlsbury right on the back of Fleddy coming through turn 6 and 7. He was so much quicker there than Black Box. He got caught a bit flat-footed there, Black Box, but through the first sector, Black Box was significantly quicker than Carlsbury, so it just looks like they're just biding their time as well, especially Black Box. He's on 70% ERS, and he looks up into the back of Carlsbury. But yeah, I think you're right, MedTC, certainly 70% ERS at this stage, compared to Basti in front of him, who's around the same level now, to be honest. MedTC just waiting in behind. He has got F1 Esports Challengers experience, remember, and MedTC in 4th position, just biding his time, and possibly, obviously, saving his tyres as well, maybe to go a little bit longer into the race.
You know, they'd say it's a race, not a sprint, so maybe it's a situation where he knows fighting is not worth it. Let me just play it out, because the only thing he has to worry about is if Jensen and Med pit the same lap, then double stack could be a bit of a pain, but if he saves his resources, he can go one lap longer and avoid the shame of a double pit stop. But if a safety car were to come out, then you may be seeing a situation where he may be down 8th, 9th, or 10th in the field because of this mistake. But anyway, we do got Basti getting good toe off Rudy, but not going to make anything happen here, but showing that he can at least get close enough to make something lunge a possibility at the very least. But yeah, again, everyone's just kind of sitting in the train. I'm kind of shocked that the breakaways only happened from 10th on down. Even Funky Chicken, who was about a second back, on Black Box, was able to get reeled back in, so they all
Oh,
are.
Black Box! Oh, he went into the back of Colsbury, so to cut in. Goodness me, Black Box on the brakes. Colsbury broke a lot earlier than what Black Box, I think, was expecting going in towards turn 4. Black Box ran into the back of him. I don't think there's any front wing damage on the car,
no,
luckily. The Aston Martin has got away with it. But if that was just a couple of inches toward the left-hand side, Black Box, I think, would have lost his left side end plate damage, and he would have obviously been pretty much out of this race. So Black Box lucky there, into P8, and I think with that little bit of contact with Colsbury, it now just drops them off the pack, because Hyper and Fleddy are now getting a little bit detached from MedTC and Basti, and therefore, this group, really, of 9-10 cars is beginning to split up again.
Because Hyper's only at 22% ERS, Fleddy's at 46, and we know Med is well over the 60, so I think Hyper was using a lot of resources to stay kind of close to the back of Med, and it may have taken, the Piper may have taken its toll here, and he may hang on for another lap or two, but again, unless he can keep that pace up, he is going to fall just off touch distance, because that top 4 are in their own little breakaway at the very least. So we'll have to wait and see what happens at the current moment, but I think Funky Chicken, yeah, he's getting good tow right now at the back of Black Box, and we also got Rudy as well, but Rudy, oh, he
comes Rudy,
now. Yeah, he hinted he was making a move, keeping Jensen on this at the very least.
Oh,
like
Funky
saying,
Chicken!
I'm here. Oh, yeah, Funky Chicken in the back. I thought that may have been the other opportunity for a pass, and it looks like Funky Chicken thought about it, but not going to get the switchback maneuver correctly, and Black Box will hold on the 8th. Chicken will have to stay 9th. We'll see if he actually makes a lot. Nah, he'll tuck in and tuck back right back in, so no real lunge for him. But yeah, Rudy was just keeping Jensen honest there, and Funky Chicken actually did try something on Black Box.
Yeah, Chicken in a hurry, I think, maybe to get a KFC after this race in P9 at the minute. Black Box there in P8. I have to do that, sorry. Jensen on top, Rudy in 2nd, Basti in 3rd, MedTC in 4th. Black Box again, though, on the back of Colsbury. Colsbury just losing touch now to Fleddy. Fleddy right on the back as well of Hyper. And now Colsbury, I think, is going to be the real cork in the bottle, because he slides his way coming out of turn 9 through turn 10, now in towards turn 11. Colsbury just gets away on the straight, so he is still in P7. But Black Box just hounding them pretty much on the back. Funky Chicken not too far off either. And Black Box, if he forces Colsbury into a mistake here, Black Box and Funky Chicken are possibly going to come through. And actually, speaking of mistakes, and Hyper has gone off, coming through turn 12 and 13. So Hyper through turn 13 runs wide. And speaking of mistakes, he loses the position to Fleddy, so he's back down to P6.
I was wondering, because Fleddy was kind of, like, Hyper was losing time to Med right there, and Fleddy, how aggressive is he going to be to make around? Is now Fleddy's coming in, and it looks like he's coming in along with Hyper, so they're going to be the first ones going for the undercut here, along with Chicken. So
Rudy's gone for the lead! Rudy takes the lead of the race on Jensen. Sorry to cut you off. I just saw that on the left-hand side. Missed it completely, but Rudy is through and he's into the lead of the race. And now, I think this now puts it set in stone. Rudy has to try and gap out Jensen down in towards turn number 4. And he's now put his car ahead. So this now indicates to me as Black Box gets the move done down on the inside of Colsbury in towards turn 4. Nice move there by Black Box. He's through and he's into 5th. But Rudy has now set it clear. Jensen is now up against it. And I think Rudy, because he's got the overtake done, he's going to force the issue. He's going to pit in this lap.
I was going to think that as well. I think that's kind of tipped his hand saying, I'm pitting this time by. Jensen, you can either try to stay out one next lap or follow me in and hope that your pit crew's a little bit faster. So Rudy is going to be the fastest leading the way here. And it looks like he's got a little bit of a breakaway because we see, Rudy has got less ERS, while Jensen's kind of keeping his nerve at the very least, not kind of making a desperation lunge on the ERS here. So maybe he's going one extra lap on this instead. So we'll have to wait and see. Or maybe just Rudy got tired of sitting behind Jensen and saw an opportunity to make a pass. But I do agree with you. I think it's Rudy shooting his shot across the Bastille.
Yeah, has to. 4/10 of a second ahead of Jensen. He's going to carry that down in towards turn 14 and 15. And currently, Rudy out in the lead of the race. Probably will pit in, and I think Jensen will probably follow in if I'm an absolute expert in terms of TTML. Yes, Rudy is coming into the pit lane. Jensen, interestingly, though, stays out, so he goes an extra lap. Clearly feeling he's got the tyres to try and do that. Jensen now, I think if he's pitting in next lap around, he's got to treat this as as basically a qualifying lap, as has Basti. Otherwise, they're going to be totally outdone by a real group of cars who came into the pit lane, now going into that sort of medium compound tyre. And Hyper is right on the back as well of Chalkers coming through the final corner. And there's the yellow flag, and second one's Basti. Basti from second is around, coming through turn 3. I think he got caught in the curve. Further down the field, though, it's nearly 3 wide running down the straight. Funky Chicken and Chalkers. And now Funky Chicken is not going to think about getting 2. He could get 3, actually, because Black Box is just coming out the pit lane to the left-hand side of him. There's now Hyper on the outside line. Black Box on the outside line now for 2, and there's a little bit of contact between them both. Still on board with Funky Chicken with this. He's going to have a phenomenal run. Double toe-like running down in towards turn 4. And Black Black Box, obviously still in this battle. Hyper has got the move done on him, so Hyper has thrown his into 10th, and Black Box has came out completely in the wrong area. Funky Chicken in behind as well. And Hyper just about got ahead and put the elbows out and said, you're not coming through. Hyper threw his into 10th position, and these are all fighting for track position, remember.
Yep, they all pitted, so this is all track position gained on circuit. We're only top 6 not pitted yet. 7th on down half. Lynx make a move on Chalmers, and that looked pretty impressive from my screen. That was a good move down the inside there. Lynx should be proud of that. Chalkers, not Chalmers. This isn't Super Nintendo Chalmers. He's in 15th. But Jensen coming in this time by. He'll be pitting similar to Basti. And now the question is, can Rudy, obviously, he's probably going to make the aircut work and retake the lead. But the second question I have is, how far up will Med gain? Can Med jump his teammate Jensen and make something happen and see how powerful the undercut is?
Jensen's going to be around a second behind Rudy, I think. Khan is going to be probably in front of Jensen coming out the pit lane. Fleddy has jumped Med TC as well, so Fleddy now into net P3, technically out on track. Jensen actually is going to be very close with Rudy, a lot closer than I was expecting, but it's exactly going to be the case because he's going to drop in behind Khan, and this is trouble for Jensen because now the Mercedes is ahead. He can now forge clear, he's run into clear air, he's got 1.1 seconds. Jensen, I don't think, is going to hang around here as Khan on the outside line is going to be done. I think Jensen just launches it from a mile back, and that is easy from Jensen. He's thrown his into 5th. I think Khan, if I was him, I'd probably put up a lot more fight than that. Jensen has thrown his into 5th and now can chase down Rudy for the net race lead.
I don't think we're going to see any Wrath of Khan here at the very least. But MedTC is going to try to make quick work of Khan as well. Both Red Bulls, same song, different dance. And there goes Khan again. And Fleddy's going to probably follow him suit. So we'll see if Fleddy makes an aggressive overtake here on the inside. It looks like the same move we saw between Lynx and Chalkers a lap ago, as Fleddy will pass Khan, and Fleddy will be in 7th. So they're all kind of treating Khan like an open screen door at the very least. So back up. Something happened?
Black Box made a really bad mistake coming through turn 9. He went so far out wide. Lynx, by the way, down the inside of Carlsbury. Carlsbury nearly shuts the door on him. And they're going to be side by side coming through turn 12. And Lynx now trying to think about it all the way around the outside. Carlsbury gets caught on the curb slightly. And Carlsbury is just about ahead of him. And Lynx, now P13, just got to count his lucky chickens out on track. He's got Funky Chicken ahead of him. 3 cars ahead of him to be exact, and Funky and then P10 trying to pull away from Hyper, who's just holding these guys up a little bit. But Boss wanted to lead in the way. Chris Lev in 2nd goes deep into turn 1. Smalley in 3rd. Jensen and Rudy fighting out 4th position out on track. This is the net race lead battle. MedTC is not too far off either. But both Hasses are going to go side by side. Yeah, Carlsbury down the inside line. Oh, actually, Hyper defends, I should say. And Hyper actually gets the move done. So Hyper stays in 11th. Carlsbury on fresher tyres. Surely he's going to get the move done up the hill and towards turn 4. He's on the inside on. The Finner's going to fly past the Dutchman. And Carlsbury through on his teammate. And he's through. He's into 11th. And that was easy work in the end, really.
Oh, yes, it was. It was. And good piece of pass there. Chicken's next target for both houses, so maybe it's a situation where Carlsbury, if you're faster, take a chance. Let's see if you can get around Chicken, because both are trying to work for each other's goals at the very least. But we got to back up to the front here. We got Jensen kind of hanging on the back of Rudy and Med there, and you kind of feel for Basti a little bit. He was in that main pack, and now he's 15th behind Chalkers and Lynx, so just shows one mistake can really do you in at the wrong time, and he's going to really need a safety car to get back in this flow. But back to as we got Black Box and Khan, there's Black Box will make a pass on Khan for A. So Khan really probably should just kind of take the pit stop here and maybe hold the metaphorical L here and just kind of come in and admit that his goose has been kind of cooked. But actually, he won't even make it a set of softs. He'd have to go on a set of hards, but he's losing so much time in comparison because top 3 are on the mediums and they're still holding a good gap, but Khan's probably going to come out last at the rate he's going.
Yeah, Chalkers, remember, still got to come into the pit lane as well further down the field, so both both Ferraris, I should say, are going to be pitting in probably towards the end of the race. Here comes Jensen on the back of Rudy to the inside line through turn 1. It's easy as you like from Jensen, and Rudy did not want to fight that at all. So Jensen now retakes the net race lead. 7 seconds now the gap. They are fighting though, and look who's on the back of them. MedTC only 3/10 off coming up the hill and towards turn 4. Lynx, by the way, got the move done on Hyper and towards turn 1. Got the job done there, and Jensen holds a position from Rudy. MedTC currently in the net 3rd. And MedTC, considering this is his first race ever in TTML, Chalks has spun coming out of turn 4, or turn 3 I should say, through turn 4, and now MedTC on the back. I've got to say, he's really on the pace tonight, MedTC, not normally this quick, and he's shocking me, to be honest. Yeah, Chalkers round through turn 3, which I already picked up on, so Chalkers down in P15. It looks like Khan, though, Ninth position. He's going to be under pressure now from Funky Chicken, and the Chicken, I think, is going to get Khan possibly down in towards turn 11 here.
Yeah, the Chicken is going to probably make the pass here. And I got an analogy, but I'm going to let that one slide for the viewers at home, as Chicken will make the pass on Khan for 10th, and Carlsby will be next on up. Can he make a move on the Ferrari? Going to try to maybe hang around the outside here. Usually doesn't plan out too well. Maybe go for the inside corner here. Nah, he'll just kind of wait it out, knowing that he doesn't really need to force the issue here too much, because if he forces it too long, he could end up kind of taking himself out of the range. But the longer he sits behind this Ferrari, the more Funky Chicken will drive off into the sunset. So we'll have to wait and see how aggressive he tries to make a lunge. He gives Khan a little bit of a love tap there, saying, come on, move forward, let's go. I got him in a bit of a hurry here, so make it happen. So we'll see here if Carlsby can make it happen on Khan here. Both have DRS, but I think with the tire advantage, this should be Carl's position to lose, as he's not even getting that good of a toe, but how aggressively taking one? Oh, very deep on the brakes, knowing that he can't wait. Lynx tried to follow suit, but the door got closed. Lynx as well just saw it like closing, and now like the elevator doors, and now Lynx gonna try to make something happen on Khan. He'll success to make it happen, and Hyper, I don't know what's gone wrong with Hyper here. Oh, Carl's, big mistake to my Lynx, and he's gonna end up opening the door for Hyper.
There was a bit of desync, I think, induced in that as well. Lynx down into P12. He looked like he locked up. It didn't look like he locked up actually on our camera angle, but he certainly did lock up, and he nearly went into the back of Carl, nearly took him out, and luckily, nearly went into the back of Cosby, I should say, and he's now behind Khan once again, and Lynx in P12 is going to get P11 because Khan's just run out wide and Lynx has absolutely goosed him down and towards turn number 11. He should get the job done. Khan, however, though, is trying to fight this back. He is doing very good, I've got to say, Khan, given that it's his first race in TTML F1. He might not be the pace of some of these drivers, but he's certainly providing a lot of entertainment and certainly holding a lot of guys up, which is good for us to commentate on. Boss wanted to lead the way, Chris in second, Smalley in third, Hyper again looking in towards 13, doesn't get the move done on the back of Khan, but I think they'll down in towards 14. He's not going to hang around for this move. He might wait towards turn 1, and I think he will wait until turn 1. Boss wanted leading the way. Chris getting close in towards turn 1. Not quite close enough. Rudy, however, again on the back of Jensen. Not going to launch a move. And now they're just beginning to drop for the first time. MedTC, 4 turns behind. He's still latching onto the back. Hyper and Khan are side by side, and nearly like Indy cars become aboard with them. And Hyper just sent it down the inside line. Through he's into P12. Easy as you like. Boss wanted, though, still fighting for the lead. The guys in front, to be honest, are not losing as much time as what I was expecting.
No, they're not. The gap was like 6 or 7 many laps ago, and it's now when they first pit it. Now it's down to 4, so only 3 seconds in about 4 laps. That's not terrible, especially considering the tire advantage. So they should come out relatively okay, and they'll have the fresh softs at the end. So if safety car were to come out, they'd be in a bit of an advantage here. But something else that kind of crossed my mind is when watching Hyper battle Khan here is what's gone wrong with Hyper. He was kind of in that top battle pack. Remember, he was up there just off the train of what was Jensen.
Basti around the outside of Khan, going through turn 10. What a move! Basti, I know he's on 11 lap fresher tyres than Khan, but Basti has just performed the overtake of the season so far. Round the outside of turn 10. Job done. Khan got minced there, quite literally. Basti through into 13th.
I think Khan's got minced multiple times in this race with overtakes, but again, he's learning, so trust me, by the end of the season, he may be doing super strong, and we'll be eating our words here. But anyway, I just want to finish the point on Hyper. It seems like something's gone wrong with Hyper, at the very least. Maybe not feeling confident on those mediums.
Here comes Smalley on the back of Chris, actually, and Chris closing on Boss Wanted as well down in towards turn 1. So this is the battle for second. Smalley down the inside on the Scotsman, I think, has got the job done. Chris has gone too far off track, and Smalley has waltzed through, and he's into second position for the down the field as well. Funky Chicken right on the back of Black Box. He can probably finish off your point now, I think.
I think I was done my point. That's why I wanted to finish it. It just looks like Hyper's a little bit weak right now, and probably something wrong with that car at the very least. Maybe set applies with the mediums, and just something has not gone right. But looking at the distance from Chrissy's mirror right now, you can just see that Mercedes Red Bull Mercedes Red Bull sandwich right there. And I can hear boss music in my headset, and I don't know how loud it is going to be in Chris's headset as he's looking in his mirrors, watching them coming.
Yeah, he's watching Jensen coming, and Jensen 2 laps ago was 3.2 seconds behind. Look at the gap now, it's a second coming around turn 10, and Jensen latching on to the back of this queue, and he'll be expecting probably these guys to pit in. Around about now, so he's actually caught them in a pretty good time, I think, out on track. Of course, the guys ahead of him are going to be going on that sort of soft compound tyres. They're going to be coming out ahead of Chalkers coming out the pit lane, very comfortably, I would imagine, as well. But Boss Wanted still leading the way, and he looks like he's getting away, so Boss Wanted now using the deployment all the way down the straight. This indicates to me he's going to be coming into pit lane this lap, trying to get as much gap out as possible to the rest of the guys ahead. Now Boss Wanted coming through the final corner, and actually he jukes me because he stays out and everyone stays out and behind. So I got that one wrong. Boss Wanted leading the way. Smalley though, right on the back of him. The Scotsman is flying at him, down in towards turn number 1. Is Smalley going to get close enough? No, he just backs out the throttle, and Boss Wanted stays in the lead of the race for now.
Yep, for now, indeed. Now, I guess my question mark is how aggressive are you going to be as Jensen trying to make these passes? You got to make them quick because Rudy and Med can catch up, but you also don't want to throw the race away. Yep, here he goes. Maybe for Chris here, going to take the inside, knowing he has to be a little bit on the quickie side here, and he's going to make it happen. So put Jensen up to third, and they're going to put a buffer car between the two of them through this S section where you don't see passing happen. So that was good moving by Jensen there, showing the true pace of a champion, or at least race winners. Then goes Rudy, seeing an opportunity he has to go for it as well, and Med going to try to follow suit. All going to try to split the Williams driver.
Oh, wow.
And now that one buffer car, there you go.
Yeah,
oh, man, Chris just backs out there. He's like, I'm not going to interfere on this one. I'm going to let them go because it's not worth it. We're running two different races. Jensen, though, on the back of Small, yellow flag, sector one. Looks like Chalkers has retired. That could be a safety car, depending. Can Jensen get around Small before something gets triggered? No, he can't.
It's off track.
Oh, it's off track. You are correct, but you never know with this game. But, yeah, they would have thrown something by now, so... Unlikely, but here comes Jensen. Nah, not going to make anything happen. They're going to probably wait till the straight. But that's also going to open the door for Rudy to make something happen as well.
Yeah, right on the back of Smalley, he's going to be pretty much, I think, close, if not past him. Green flag racing, by the way, in Sector 1 once again. Chalkers was off track, pretty much where Mazepin spun it in lap 1, of course, of the Bahrain Grand Prix on his debut in 2021. Pretty much, that's where he ended up. Jensen now is going to make a two-way move, I think, down in towards someone. Here he comes, on the back of Boss Wanted, dives it down the inside line, and now Rudy gets involved in there as well, and there's a little bit of contact between them both. Jensen, though, threw his into the lead of the race. That's a magnificent move by Jensen, throwing his into the lead, and now Rudy is going to have to try and bide his time, because he's going to be behind Smalley, I think, down in towards turn 4. He looks to the inside line, again lunges it from a mile back. Smalley forced into an error, and actually Rudy gets the job done. So he's thrown his into third, Smalley forced into an error. It's getting a little bit sketchy, I've got to say, between these guys. Of course, they're racing in two complete races, as Karna's picked up a penalty, Fleddy also with a penalty from earlier on in the race, and Rudy pushed a pass nearly on Boss Wanted, and he's going around the outside of turn 10, and he is going to go around the outside of turn 10, and that is even better than Lynx's move. Around the outside of turn 10, job done. Rudy Thurney's into second.
Man. Got a little schoolie off exit there, getting a little impatient, and he's going to get refired, but luckily could have easily made a slight mistake. They're going to lose touch distance. But yeah, as Rudy's now back to second, he's lost well over a second to Jensen with those moves. So Jensen made that move on that straight, and I think Rudy sensed a little bit of desperation knowing he has to make it, and ended up getting stuck behind two cars, and that is going to show. Even though technically on the lead lap, it just shows sometimes that just a car at the wrong time can cost you dearly. And look at Met TC, he was a second line up within a second of Rudy, and now he's going to lose even more time because he's going to try to get around two more cars using this straight. So it just shows catching the cars at the wrong time can end up hurting you badly. As now they pit in, which I think Med and Rudy may not be too thrilled they went one extra lap for, but it's two different races at the very least. But yeah, Rudy 1-6 back on Jensen, and Med 1-2 back on Rudy. So going to need to put some good hot laps in to recatch up.
Yeah, Jensen leading the way, 1.6 seconds over Rudy. Rudy now has to use up that ERS, and that ERS is going to be against him rather than actually working for him out on track. Metc third, and then everyone else further down the field. Fleddy, fourth position, is 4.5 seconds off the back of these guys, so clearly has struggled. Underneath the train, really, that Black Box and Funky Chicken and the likes have been in, so Fleddy escaped that early on, I think, coming out the pit lane. Black Box now 5th, Funky Chicken in 6th, Colsbury there in 7th, and everyone doing a fantastic job, I've got to say. But now, MedTC, because he's been launched into clear air, he's closing in on Rudy really quickly indeed. It was 1.7 seconds at the start of the lap, it's now a second, and MedTC, meaning business, he's on the back of Rudy. I think he might get him in a couple of laps' time.
Maybe, but we saw last couple laps ago where he was kind of in the toe of Rudy and just didn't make anything happen. But now that Rudy's not in DRS of Jensen, maybe it's a situation where it's going to be an easier pass for Med to make something happen. So maybe that little bit of that pack ended up helping him out here, but only time will tell on that front if he can keep the pace, keep the tires, because they're both on the same wear of tires at the very least. But anywho, we'll see if anything else is happening down the field here. I think Lynx is kind of back at Carlsby, so we may keep an eye on this battle for 6th, 7th, 8th here, because it's getting a little bit spiced between 7th and 8th between Carls and Lynx, and we may see something happen sooner rather than later, but only time will tell on that front.
Yeah, Lynx on the back of Carlsbury. Further down the field, by the way, Smalley did get the move done on Khan, so he's through his into 11. Boss Wanted launches that in down the straight, in fact. down in towards 14. I think he should be getting the move done there on Khan. Just looking at the minimap, and Lynx has absolutely sent it down the inside on Carlsbury. Forceful, but he gets the job done.
Forceful but effective, like a Lynx jumping on his prey there. Saw an opportunity and made it work. So Lynx in 7th. Carl's probably not too thrilled about it, but again, no damage, no nothing. So, but if Carl's catches back up, I don't think he'll be as nice trying to make a pass with Lynx as Lynx was just with him. As now Hyper gets 3 from multiple warnings, so add him to the list of naughty boys, including Fleddy and Khan.
Yeah, those are the penalties, by the way. Fleddy on 3, Hyper on 3, Khan on 3. And I'm actually shocked that not many drivers have actually picked up penalties so far in this race. Jensen now, second half of the race, seems to be his absolute forte. We saw it last season so many times, and Jensen once again, 2.4 seconds clear of Rudy. MedTC is now beginning to latch onto the back of Rudy, and I said he might get him in a couple of laps' time. It could be next lap around. On to lap 21 we will go. Jensen leading the way, Rudy in second, MedTC in third, and at the minute, the medium runners seem to be having it between themselves. The likes of the soft runners are probably out of contention, to be honest. Maybe get a top 10 finish if that, but Jensen now leading the way, 2.5 seconds. MedTC, is he going to be close enough down the straight in towards turn number 1? He's closing in. I think he's going to wait behind and actually backs off the throttle, running down towards someone just to harvest a bit more ERS. MedTC waiting behind on Rudy, but I think he's got the pace to get there, to be honest, if he wants to go for the move.
I think he's definitely got the pass Med to make a pass on Rudy, but I guess another question department is if he does make the pass, as Boss Winehouse says fast lap is on the center set us off, so taking that fast lap a point away from our top half. But it was worth noting that Med does get around him. I don't think he's got anything. He really can catch his teammate though in Jensen. That gap is growing, and if he wants to make an attempt at it, he's going to have to throw it up. As Lynx is battling Funky Chicken here back for 6. He got slightly around, but Chicken holds station, and Chicken will keep 6th position.
I wonder if Lynx forced the move down in towards turn number 4 and dived it down the inside line, pretty much like we saw with Carlsbury. And in that instance, Lynx let him back through because he thought it was a bit forceful. I didn't catch that, but I think that's probably what happened. Funky Chicken through, and he's back into 6th. Lynx there in 7th. Basti, though, set of medium compounded tyres. That spin put him completely on the back foot. I think if he didn't have that spin, and he cost himself, what, a good 8-9 seconds, Basti would be in the battle for 2nd at this point.
I honestly think that would be a fair point as well. If that spin didn't happen, he'd definitely be in that little pack there fighting, and maybe 2nd, maybe 3rd, maybe 4th. Only time will tell, and if ifs and buts, candy nuts, whatever. But the point still stands that I think definitely would be a case that he'd be in that top half. But like I said, still a long season. One mistake happened here, and all drivers are bound to have some mistakes, so no one can be perfect. So it's a situation where it's his learning experience, and hopefully he can take it and grow from it.
MedTC on the back of Rudy in towards turn 1. Again, not quite close enough, but MedTC noticeably has doubled his amount of ERS compared to the last lap around. He is on the back of him and really pressurising him, and Basti sends it down the inside of Carlsbury. And again, that's a forceful move, and I think that's too forceful from Basti. I think he's got to give the praise up for that. We saw Lynx dive it down the inside of Carlsbury. Wasn't as aggressive as that, and Basti now is going to be under pressure from Carlsbury, and Carlsbury, I think, is going to say, you know what, if you can do something, I'll do it back. And Basti now back through, and he's into P8, and these two now having a private squabble between themselves. And I think, if they're listening, calm down.
Calm down, we don't need each other taking themselves out here. It's a fun little Sunday night race. I know it's all for the pressure of F1, but let's have some fun here. You don't have to be too at each other's throats, but I think Carlos is getting kind of tired of getting bullied around here. It happened with Lynx, and now it happened with Basti. If his teammate catches him, makes a lunge like that, he may be showing no love lost in the second half of this race here at the very least. But, yeah, other than that, though, just trying to see if anyone else is kind of making anything up. Med's kind of same gap on Rudy. Chicken's on the back of Black Box, but not really close to anything happen, and Lynx is there as well, so it looks like right now our major fight is 5, 6, and 7 fighting for more getting better points at the very least.
Nigwal, by the way, in the comment section saying Khan doesn't want to intimidate his opponents, he will bounce back. 29.1 seconds off the back of Chris in 13th position, and that is something that you don't want to try and intimidate. And speaking of intimidation, Metis, he's going to fly past Rudy down and towards turn 1, gets the job done, and now it's a Red Bull 1-2. The Finn, the flying Finn, is through and he's into 2nd. Rudy there down into 3rd, and Black Box now going to get the move done on Funky Chicken as well. In fact, it's the other way around. Funky Chicken gets the job done on Black Box, and he's through and he's into P5. So 2 moves made there. Funky Chicken up to 5th, Rudy down into 3rd, and Rudy actually battling back on the back of MedTC up the hill and towards 4, doesn't get the move done. And I think now Jensen probably got to communicate, possibly to MedTC at this point. Black Box again on the back of Funky Chicken, not close. But MedTC, I think, is going to communicate possibly to Jensen, or Jensen is going to communicate to MedTC and say, you know what? Hold the guy up and behind. He was my teammate last season. Hold him up and run for Red Bull 1-2.
That could be a case as well, and we'll have to wait and see on that front if that can occur. But I think Rudy's not going to try to fight. He's going to fight a little bit here. He knows he wants seconds better than third here. It's better to be on the second step than the third step. And I think Rudy's going to thinks about it, but again, sits behind. But definitely maybe waiting his resources out here. He's got 44% ERS, while Matt only has 32. So maybe again, biding his time. They're on the same tire wear, so save your resource up and make one more lunge is a possibility. Because remember, the leader does clear the track, so maybe again, just waiting it out here and just going to wait for a move. But maybe he'll make a lunge back in the quarter one here this time by. Only time is on. Actually, we'll find out right now as he's going to enter the last corner here on the straight. DRS is obviously activated. ERS does favor Rudy, but a little bit too far back for Rudy to make something happen. Presumably on MedCC, and it looks like MedCC gets the better launch. So I'd assume Med holds station here at the very least. Rudy's going to try to put an effort in here. Feints outside, and no, he'll just tuck back in. Need to be a little bit closer to make that launch happen.
It's going to be a really good battle, I think, to the end of the race, though, between these two. And speaking of battles, Smalley's going to get through on Hyper, and possibly Boss Wanted is going to get through on Hyper as well. And in fact, Boss Wanted is going to get maybe Smalley down in towards someone as well. The Frenchman down the inside line. Can he get the job done on Hyper? Yes, he can. So 2 moves made there. Smalley and Boss Wanted through to 10th and 11th. Hyper now down to 12th. And of course, he's actually fights Chris right in the back. Goodness me, they nearly gave it to a little bit of contact coming out of turn 3. And Chris now right on the back of him surely is going to risk this down the inside of turn 6, and in fact Hyper trying to make the house look as wide as possible, gets caught on the curb. He's now going to be under pressure significantly from Chris, and I think Chris is probably going to have him down in towards turn, maybe even turn 9 or 10. There's a slight tap on the rear end, but the German not enticed into getting the move done on the Dutchman.
Nope, not enticed yet. Again, losing time here. It's on the fresh tires. I think Chris is really fighting that car at the very least here. Kind of a bit of a poor showing from Chris. We figured he'd have a little bit better pace, but maybe a little bit bad season. A bad start to the season as Chris will make the pass on Hyper. Yellow flag sector 1, that is Khan. Wrong way around. He'll get it refired, so really nothing really to report there other than just a little bit of embarrassment. But yeah, yellow flag sector 3 now. It looks like, it's Carlsbury around.
Carlsbury coming through turn 12. I think he got caught in the inside curb. And look at the rears that completely overshot themselves now. And now he has to run on the racing line, basically, to try and get back in. And Hyper tries to lunge it down the inside line. Speaking of lunging it, Rudy on MedTC down the inside and towards turn 1. Does get the job done. MedTC, though, is back on the inside line. And it's still really, really good, the action. And MedTC holds on for second. And the Red Bull is trying to make that Mercedes just give way, he's saying to Rudy in behind. But MedTC second, Rudy there in third, and with 5 laps to go, this is going to be quite a spicy battle.
I think it will be quite a spicy battle. Another battle that's kind of interesting to watch is we just saw Black Box Chicken and Lynx all fighting. I know it keeps coming back to this battle, but they are getting a little bit scrappy as well. It seems like every time Rudy and Med make a fight, we got Black Box Chicken and Lynx fighting as well. So looks like we're going to wish we kind of had a split screen option here because we could probably keep an eye on both battles. But sadly, technology is not advanced that far yet for us to have that option on PlayStation. But anyway, on that, we also had Carlsby came in for a fresh set of softs. He's going for a fast lap punt at the very least. So we'll have to keep an eye if he can break the fast lap of this race.
Jensen leading the way, yeah, 5 seconds. MedTC and Rudy, though, still in this battle. Chris further down the field's picked up a penalty. 3 seconds now on to his time, and I think Khan also picked up a penalty, if I'm not mistaken as well. So there are the penalties. Fleddy, Chris, Hyper, Carlsbury and Khan, all on 3 seconds. Nothing really to go on about in terms of the penalties anymore. Oh, MedTC just lagged there slightly in towards the final corner. That was a major lag spike, and now Rudy is going to probably have a run down in towards turn number 1. 4/10 is much more closer than what he was last time around, but look at the high gear he's running. He's going to try and think about going for the move, and he absolutely launches that onto the 8th gear, launches it down the inside line. MedTC still going to be there, carries the speed around the outside, but this time Rudy is through, and he's into second, but MedTC better run out of turn 3. Is he going to get up the hill? No is the answer. Rudy through, and he's into second position as Lynx is fighting with Funky Chicken further down the field. The Brit on the back of his fellow countryman, trying to go all the way around the outside, switches the inside through turn 4, and then in towards 5, 6, and 7. He's not going to get the move done. Lynx still on the back of Funky Chicken. Another battle that we can keep on board with, and they're actually fighting with Black Box, who I think has shown a really good bit of pace here tonight. He's in 5th position, not too far Fleddy. Fleddy's going to be dropping behind him at this stage. Black Box has had a fantastic race in 5th.
Yeah, Black Box is going to get a 4th position as long as he can hold station. Well, hold on a minute. It gets a little squirrely off exit, so maybe we shouldn't talk about Black Box because We may have just almost jinxed him there. Now he's going to be under pressure from Funky Chicken here. Won't make a pass happen. Black Box definitely a little bit of, maybe put a little bit of extra few days on his wear of heart there. So he'll tuck back in line at the very least. But something that I want to go back to that battle with Rudy and MedTC and just say one thing that shocked me is Rudy didn't use any ERS making that pass on MedTC. And he's got double, like I said, 60% ERS while Med has 40. So an eye on.
Oh, I thought I disconnected there for a second. You just went totally off my screen. That was weird. Jensen still leads the way. You can hear me okay, can't you?
Yep, I can hear just fine. We got a pass here for 6th and 5th here. Black Box and Funky Chicken are battling here, and Funky Chicken's going to get 5th, and it looks like the Lynx is going to try to make a move on Black Box as well. Black Box was comfortably in 5th, and now under pressure from Lynx and Chicken. Chicken going to get successfully by. Can Lynx make a move on Black Box here? Black Box is going to have DRS. Chicken will not, and the flashing light of Chicken as well. But yeah, not going to anything happen here, but could have maybe happened. But anyway, Lynx, though, seeing an opportunity maybe to stick it in. No, he'll not. So Black Box down to 6th, Chicken's 5th, and right now they're fighting. Because right now, remember, Fletty has a 3-second time penalty. If they can stay within 3 seconds, the leader of this pack will get 4th. But if they fight too much, they may end up giving 4th back to Fletty. So, kind of risk-reward at the very least.
Yeah, 4 seconds the gap, between Rudy and MedTC. I don't think there's going to be any sort of fight. Fleddy got sideways there as well, coming out of turn 10, and Funky Chicken gains as a result 2/10 per second, and he might be within DRS range come before the end of the race as well if he puts up the speed a little bit on those tyres. Jensen leading the way, Rudy in second, MedTC in third, still 4/10 the gap between second and third at this stage, and this is the main battle that we will focus on towards the end of the race. Black Box had a mistake coming out of turn 12, and Lynx gets onto the back of him again, and for the first time Black Box just seems to be struggling. Maybe the tyres are going to work. I can certainly see blistering on the front left tyre, which takes the load around here, of course. Black Box, though, going to be under pressure from Lynx, and speaking of under pressure, here comes MedTC on the back of Rudy, down the inside and towards turn 1. The Finn is going to launch this from a mile back. Can he get the job done? Down the inside line, barely has got the car ahead. Rudy's going to fight this, and Rudy just holds on, and nearly loses control of the car as well, as now MedTC's going to have the run back up towards turn 4. Shooting, this is the time now to go for the move. MedTC on the inside line, they're still side by side, they're still inches apart, and MedTC now has just about got the car ahead, and Rudy has to back out of that, and that was fair play between them both. That could have easily ended it in contact. They didn't. MedTC through and he's into second, and that was perfect driving from them both through turn 6 and 7, as Rudy just got sideways there, and now gives the opportunity to MedTC to pull away.
Yeah, it does, but remember, Rudy does have 80% ERS, while Med's at 65, so they're all going to use basically all the ERS they got left at the very least on this last lap, and Rudy's going to have a bit more, so he can go in hot lap mode just a little bit more than MedTC can, so we'll see if that slight advantage will favor Rudy on the last lap, but yeah, Jensen, smooth sailing at the very least. Further on back, we got Chicken pulling away from Black Box. Black Box struggling, but able to hold against Lynx, and Basti is kind of caught this train as well, so if something slips up, Basti may be able to get a 7th or a 6th if things kind of shake out right.
Definitely so. Jensen is going to go on to the final lap of the race and lead here in Bahrain. MedTC in second. Is Rudy close enough for a run lunge down and towards turn 1? I don't think he is, actually. He's closing in. This is going to be side by side, possibly in towards turn number 1, and Rudy is going to absolutely send it from an absolute mile back. MedTC, though, is going to have the traction around the outside, and MedTC is going to fight back, and MedTC and Rudy still fighting out up the hill and towards turn 4. Now Rudy gets the traction, now he gets the DRS, and now he takes candy from a baby, he takes candy from the Finn, and now Rudy is through and he's into second position, and that was well timed, I think, by Rudy, but still, MedTC can have a go at him.
The one advantage was ERS because they both were down there, and Rudy was at 40, 30, while Med was only at 10. So I think that slight little straight line advantage favored Rudy at the end there. So just shows saving resources is good in these races, and it kind of played out there. But we still got a couple corners to go, so don't count your chickens yet and cash them, because Med may have an answer back here down this long corner. DRS is activated. Med may put it all on the line here, both using ERS, but I think Rudy's going to get a better toe here. That is closing a little bit, but not enough that Med can make anything happen. He'll try deeply on the brakes, but just going to tuck back in line. And I think that maybe all sure he's going to have one more straight to make an attempt, and unless Rudy makes a mistake, it's probably his to lose. But Jensen about to go for the last corner here, and I'll let you take the call.
Yeah, Jensen coming around the final corner. He's looked like he's back to his brilliant best here in TTML F1. It's not going to be a Red Bull 1-2, I think, but Jensen to the line wins here in Bahrain. Rudy at the final corner, under pressure from MedTC, but I think the pressure is withheld and Rudy will come across the line to finish in second. MedTC crashes into the wall, nearly across the line to finish in third. Fleddy's got to drop down a number of positions. Smalley has spun at the final corner. Funky Chicken is fourth, Black Box fifth, Lynx in sixth, Fleddy seventh, Basti in eighth, Boss Wanted in ninth. In the end, Fleddy all the way down in seventh. Smalley, by the way, I'm not sure if he came across the line. He spun through the final corner. He had left side end plate damage on the car as well. So Smalley into the wall at the final corner.
I think
finishes 10th.
Hyper's got a puncture. Thought, but does he have a puncture?
No, Hyper was way further down the field compared to Smalley. Yeah, but Hyper does have a puncture. Front left puncture for Hyper to finish in 13th. And Khan, on his debut here in TTML F1, at least he's coming to finish and score points, which is very good indeed. And obviously only one Ferrari scoring points as well. Khan to the line, finishes in 14th position as the fireworks now fly in the night sky here in Sakia. Great race to start off TTML F1 season, and the driver of the day, all about in-game fans, is Mr. Funky Chicken.
Yeah, Funky Chicken driver of the day there, but I had to put a note on that. I'd say simply enough, Jensen was kind of under pressure the first half of that race, but kind of like a football team or a football game where the first half, like an underdog team or a team that's in same range keeps it close, but then Jensen just showed second half potential there and just came out and showed the gamesmanship and was able to make it work successfully, even though the Mercedes of Rudy and the teammate in question kept it close, but at the end of the day, Jensen was just kind of in a world of his own there and just timed everything right. But I think these top three we're seeing here currently may be fighting for this championship throughout the rest of the season.
Yeah, definitely so. Fantastic stuff, of course, out on track. And Jensen is back, and he takes the championship lead after round one. Jensen wins from Rudy in second, MedCC in third. A very, very good debut, I've got to say, for MedCC. Watch out for him as they go through the season. I did say the Red Bulls would be quite a good pairing, and they are. First and third in the end. Funky Chicken in fourth. Mercedes also there, of course. It's a bit like real life around here, to be honest. Black Box in fifth, Lynx in sixth, Fleddy down in seventh in the end because of penalties. Basti in eighth, Boss Wanted in ninth. Smalley in the end ran off the top 10. Boss Wanted, by the way, picked up fastest lap of the race. Chris in 11th, Cosby in 12th, Hyper 13th, Khan in 14th. They all finished chalkers. The only DNF out of the race. Didn't have a VSC, didn't have a safety car, full out 29 laps, and we pretty much finished on schedule.
Yeah, we did. And yeah, it's good as well because Daytona just started about 5-10 minutes ago, the 500. So make sure you watch that as well right after this race. Give them some viewership. But anyway, we'll see if any of the top three do come in for any interviews here. Couldn't add Rudy because of settings, but the other two could join, maybe not. We'll give them a second here if they want to.
I'll quickly go blue screen and see if I can add Rudy. I'm pretty sure he's on my friends list, luckily. So I'll try and... I'm pretty sure he's on my friends list. Give me a second. I'll go to play together and see if I can actually invite him in. See if he's actually... his name is showing. Oh, he's showing straight away. There we go. And he's been added to the pot. Oh, can't add some plays because of their settings. You're totally right. So we can't add him in.
So he'll have to fix that for next week, or if he fixes right now and shoots his message in Discord, we'll add him in. But right now, we can't really do anything about it. But I think Jensen did just join, and we'll see if his teammate joins as well.
Yeah, Jensen, once again, top step of the podium. It's almost as if you haven't anything left in terms of the form, to be honest. That was, in the end, the first half of the race, quite difficult, because obviously you were fighting with Rudy. Second half, bit more dominant. Talk us through it.
Can you hear us, Jensen?
If he's here.
It said he joined. I saw his name. Oh, never mind. He left.
Oh, he's left the party. He can't hear one of us, I think. He might not be able to hear me. But...
oh, he rejoined. Jensen, can you hear one of us? All right, there we go.
Yeah, the parties were being a bit annoying there.
The absolute joys. Jensen, congratulations, of course, on the race victory. As I was saying there, first half of the race you came under significant pressure from Rudy, dealt with that very well. Second half of the race, a bit more dominant in the end. Talk us through it.
Yeah, cheers. I tried getting away at the start, but of course I saw the gaps and I didn't want to just afford to use my energy. And I mean, losing the places and the start of the race isn't like so bad. so I just let him overtake me when I can, and when I can get back, I decided to get back, and yeah, bit lucky for the ult strat guys to come in. I managed to break away, so I knew if I broke away, I'd probably have a good chance of getting a gap, and yeah, I didn't expect to get such a gap in the end, but yeah, really enjoyed driving that one.
Yeah, and it certainly looked like it. Obviously, was a fantastic race. Rudy, by the way, saying in Discord, just for your purpose, Pepsi, that he can't join the party, can't load content. Right, it says.
Yeah, it's just, and I said something with settings. So you may have to check his settings there. Maybe it's just like I said, Jensen's having party issues. So maybe it's just something like just to kind of add to the issues with the desyncing. Maybe it's something to do with that. So if maybe check his settings. If there's something there, maybe it needs to be flipped on or off. We'll try one more time. But if not, we'll try to get it next week.
It took a bit longer for me to join the party. Like, I tried joining before and it took like 30 seconds. It didn't load you guys, so I tried rejoining. But
I wonder if there's a few PSN issues going on, perhaps, which might have been why it was causing, obviously, the glitch, obviously, within the lobby. But you came under, as I say, pressure from Rudy, dealt with that very well, and obviously continuing on from that great form from last season, that was probably the first race you wanted to put really a statement down and say, you know what, I'm back, I want to win a second championship, and you've done just that tonight.
Yeah, all no prisoners this season, going all out. Yeah, not really feeling the pressure to be honest, after tonight. Yeah, that kind of pace, I'm not really of a fuss with anyone else. But of course, Rudy's going to be right there, my teammate as well. He's got his pedal issues fixed now. He'll hopefully be back to his old self, as you've probably seen him before. But yeah, it'll be an interesting rest of the season. But some nice races coming up, so see.
Yeah, and speaking of those nice races coming up as well, obviously we've got Spain next week. How do you think you're going to get on around there?
I've done a Spain race the other day in the full rain, but yeah, that was a lot of fun. But I think Spain pace pretty good, so hoping I could do well there. It's one of my favourite tracks to drive. Pace wise, I don't know what everyone's like, because I've only done like a couple of races on the new performance, so yeah, we'll just see.
Yeah, Jensen, just can you do us a quick favor? Can you try adding Rudy, because he says he wants you to try to add him? So
there he is.
Oh, there he goes. Oh, hey, cool. Just want to make sure you got the message.
Yeah, don't worry. Throw it in there. Yeah.
Pepsi, any questions for Jensen?
I guess. I got one. I guess I could throw up. You did say you did for a little bit of practice for Spain, and then you got the sprint race in Britain. So again, long season up ahead here. It's out of that calendar coming up. Is there any track that you really feel like that's your weakest track? And what is your best track coming up? You think, and what is your weakest track?
Jeddah definitely gonna be one of my best. I'd say my weakest track is probably to be Kota or USA, maybe Australia as well, depending on how I get on there. But mainly Kota. But every other track are tracks that I like to drive. Fairly decent pace, so yeah, I'm not too fussed with it.
Giving the rest of the field a little bit of a notice there, but yeah, okay, that's good to see. Sadly, you won't be that strong on my home soil, but you never know. But anyway, I think unless James, you got anything else you want to add?
Nope, that is it from me. Go and enjoy your evening, Jensen.
Thank you, and cheers for the commentary as always, lads.
You're very welcome indeed, and we'll now move on, eventually, because he's joined the party now, to the man who finished in P2, of course, and that was Rudy. And Rudy, it's a bit like the old of last season, to be honest. You and Jensen finishing, obviously, 1 and 2, and you put, as I say, pressure on Jensen earlier on in the race. Did you feel like you had him on that first half of the race?
Yeah, pace on the softs felt pretty good. I know Jensen was not giving it everything, because maybe it was in the first 3 laps, but yeah, I don't think he was really giving it everything. And then I thought I'd go for lap 9, but in hindsight I probably should have stayed on 1 more lap. But yeah, pace on the soft stand was good. I thought I could maybe challenge him for the win, but yeah, he just I didn't really see the pack of traffic coming up. otherwise I probably would have tried to overtake him to be the first to overtake like those medium runners, because they were fighting quite hard, which I didn't quite understand. But I mean, yeah, it was pretty annoying. Dropped me out, and then as soon as I dropped out of the DRS, I immediately messed up the first sector, and then Jens was gone, and then I was pretty much all immediately focusing on behind, because I knew I wasn't gonna catch back up, because yeah, we were both derating, and yeah. But I think if the traffic wouldn't have come, I think I probably still wouldn't have won in the end, but I think I could have given it a shot. Because, yeah, it was unfortunate with the traffic, but you saw he had loads of pace once he got clear of the traffic, so, yeah, it would have been interesting, but, yeah.
Yeah, still, it's a phenomenal drive from you, obviously finishing in P2. Talk us to the battle you had with MedTC, because that was getting quite close towards the final lap of the race, and it was probably one of the best battles I think I've seen even last season in TTML with you involved in it.
Yeah, it was, I think after me and Jensen were using up our ERS to get past the other guys, he had a bit more ERS probably, and then he got in the DRS, and I knew it was going to be a struggle to keep him behind. And yeah, like I said, I was focusing on saving some ERS, trying to be able to defend at the end of the race. And I saw him braking on the straight a few times, so I knew he didn't want to go ahead, but it was a bit of mind games as well. I did go for it on the penultimate lap, but I didn't really fully go. Or I think it overtook me. I don't really know, to be honest. I can't really remember. But on the final lap, I was the car behind, and I was very far back, and I decided that I wasn't going to give it up. So yeah, normally I'm pretty good on the brakes, so I just sent it down the inside. He left me space, and then on the outside of turn 2, I kept. Yeah, he left me a lot of room, so that's really good to see, because he could have just pushed me off, but yeah, he left me the room, and then I had to DRS, and I was fully clear. So yeah, a really good battle, really clean driving as well. So yeah, it was good.
Yeah, he is former F1 Esports Challenger Series as well, so he has to try and drive clean, obviously, with that battle, obviously. Pepsi, I'm going to come across to you. Any questions?
You know, I'll throw the same question I threw out to Jensen, I'll throw to you. Looking at the calendar ahead, what do you think your strongest track, and what do you think your weakest track is?
I mean, Jensen said Jeddah is one of his best tracks, but I've driven like 10 laps there, so that's going to be a struggle. Yeah, for the rest, probably my best track will be Australia. It's normally a good track for me. Because, yeah, on the last game I sweated that track a lot, so, yeah, I got a pretty good feel for that track, so, I think, Australia should be a good one.
Alright, fair enough. James, you got any other questions you'd like to add? Comments, statements?
Yeah, just final question from me. Obviously, Spain next week. How do you think you're going to get on?
I think probably, like most people, Spain is not one of my best tracks, and it's definitely not one of my favorites. But I think the pace should be decent. Definitely gonna try to keep this momentum going. Hopefully get a win on Jensen sometime soon, because of course I want to try to mount a bit of a championship fight. It's gonna be difficult, but yeah, I'm hoping to at least get on the podium again. Just be consistent all season. And yeah, win is gonna be difficult, but Jensen also said it wasn't a good track for him, so
have to wait and see, I think, going into next week then. Go and enjoy your evening, Rudy.
Yeah, cheers.
Very welcome indeed, and that concludes the interviews for tonight. Big thank you, of course, to Jensen and to Rudy for joining the interviews. Really hope you enjoyed the race. If you did, of course, like, comment, subscribe, tick that notification bell, of course, if you are new to TTML F1. And Pepsi, because you're a new commentator here in TTML F1, I'm going to ask you the same old questions I normally do at the end of these streams. Who was your driver of the day?
I honestly, I think the answer is kind of straightforward here. I think it's Jensen. Jensen kind of led from lights to flag for the most part. Had a few challenges there, but he's able to keep his nerve and end up winning this race. So he definitely get my driver of the day on this vote.
Yeah, I've got to agree again. I think with Jensen's drive, obviously, solid first half of the race. Second half of the race, just traditional domination, really. Might be the sign of things to come going in the end of the season, so Jensen gets my driver of the day as well. Of course, we will be back next week for TTML F1 around Spain, of course, along with the rest of the calendar, of course, TTML F2, F3 and F4. And also on Wednesday, we do have EML F1 back. So that is Premier, League 1 and League 2. Of course, League 1 and League 2 on at 7 PM UK time. Myself and Mike Edwards are going to be taking to the action, of course, for Premier, for EML Premier. That's at 8:30 UK time. And of course, Luke Etheridge and Aidan Carter for League 1. And Graham Chappell and Storm for League 2. So hopefully it's going to be a fantastic night's worth of racing there for EML. I think that is us done for the first stream of TTML F1. We really hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, goodbye.